My name is Max van Deursen and I'm a PhD candidate with the Transcof project at the Environmental Policy Group of Wageningen University in the Netherlands.
And my name is Aarti Gupta. I'm a professor of global environmental politics and governance at Wageningen University and the principal investigator of the TransGov project. This project looks at the role of transparency in the global climate regime. The TransGov project asks a core question: is transparency a universal force for good in the global climate regime? Does it drive enhanced climate action from all? This is a widely made claim, also at COP29 in Baku, where we are both currently present. But does transparency have this effect?
In a newly published article in Transnational Environmental Law, Professor Aarti Gupta and I undertake a critical assessment of the Paris Agreement's landmark Enhanced Transparency Framework. Extensive time and resources are now being invested into making this new system operational. And also here at COP29, over 30 events were organized under the banner of #TogetherForTransparency. But what does all this transparency deliver? And what benefits are generated in practice? And for whom? These questions are hardly asked, even as transparency requirements keep increasing. Our just published article has one of the very first detailed analyses of these questions, and specifically of the politics underpinning this enhanced transparency framework. In our new article, we analyze first what different countries wanted to include or exclude within the enhanced transparency framework in the negotiations leading up to the Paris Agreement. Here we find that enhanced transparency under the Paris Agreement was not universally desired by all countries. In the negotiations, developed countries wanted a common transparency framework, while developing countries wanted a differentiated system with less stringent rules applying to developing countries. And developing countries also wanted to go beyond only mitigation-focused transparency being prioritized by developed countries. The second question we address in our paper is, for whom are transparency rules enhanced under the Enhanced Transparency Framework of the Paris Agreement, and in what ways? Whose priorities are reflected in the finalized Enhanced Transparency Framework? Here we found that the Enhanced Transparency Framework is primarily enhanced for developing countries, and this is in fact in line with the mitigation-focused priorities of developed countries. Third, then, what does this Enhanced Transparency Framework imply for strengthened climate action? What is the role of transparency in shaping nationally determined contributions of countries? Here we show that one effect may be to push all countries towards adoption of certain types of targets, quantified targets against a historic base year, which are more favorable to developed countries and less favorable to developing countries, for whom a historic base year would mean they would have to start reducing from a much lower starting point.
Okay. With the enhanced transparency framework now starting, our timely analysis asks if transparency really is the backbone of the Paris Agreement, working in the same way for all countries. Rather than seeing transparency as a neutral force, we show that the enhanced transparency framework actually reflects the contested politics of the global climate regime.
This article, published in Transnational Environmental Law, was about unpacking the mitigation part of the Enhanced Transparency Framework. But we have also analyzed what countries wanted and what was agreed relating to adaptation, finance, and loss and damage reporting, all key priorities for developing countries. Check out our recently published article in Climate Policy to read about this as well. There is now an urgent need to go beyond the strong focus, including here at COP29, on implementing the Enhanced Transparency Framework, to also asking what it is concretely delivering for countries domestically. Stay tuned for Transcof case studies, which reveal benefits and burdens in practice in India, South Africa, and Ethiopia. This research is of vital importance to inform policy discussions, including here at COP29. Please join us in this important and timely conversation.